Hey Frosty Clan and YouTube, thanks for joining the FrostySith channel today, where we're going to dive into the 5th installment of the Keto Trail cooking series, where today we're going to explore a home dehydrated liver and onions with mushroom gravy recipe. There's also 3 bell peppers in there. So again, it's a great keto meal, super if it's hot, great if it's cold soaked. Let's go to the kitchen, dive in, and get this one in the books. So this morning I cooked up some calf's liver and seasoned it with minced onions, oregano, basil, and Himalayan salt. And I'm just putting it on the dehydrator to dehydrate, and I'm just going to let this go on 122 degrees until it looks like it's done. It is fully cooked, and hopefully it turns out great. We'll see. That's 4 ounces of liver that you see there. You're going to need several things to prepare these recipes. One, you're going to need a food scale of some kind to measure weights. I've been mixing up ingredients already today, and you're also going to need, for example, a tablespoon and a half teaspoon, and in this case, a 1/4 teaspoon. And what I've done is taken some cooked calf's liver, 4 ounces of cooked calf's liver, seasoned with oregano, basil, Himalayan sea salt, sauteed in butter, and then dehydrated as you just saw. And that's the result. And what we're going to do with that is we're going to add that to a bowl. And that 4 ounces dehydrates down to just over an ounce. 31 grams is what that dehydrates down to. We also have dehydrated a bell pepper and onion blend, and so we have 11 grams of that, which is the equivalent of 2 cups of frozen or 6 ounces of frozen vegetables. We're also going to add the equivalent of 4 ounces or 1/4 pound of cremini mushrooms sliced that have been dehydrated. And then we're going to add the dry ingredients, and we're actually going to vacuum seal this. Normally I would prepare it and shake it up and let you see it, but I'm preparing on using it this weekend, I hope. And so I'm going to go ahead and make this up and vacuum seal it. And so what's in here is we have the yellow is the butter powder. So organic, grass-fed butter powder. The white that you see right here is the Perfect Keto MCT oil powder. The white that you see right here, the granular looking stuff, is a 1/4 teaspoon of the no salt, and I guess I skipped the volume. So the butter powder was 3 tablespoons and the MCT oil powder was 1 scoop or 10 grams, and then a 1/4 teaspoon of the potassium chloride, no salt brand, and then we have 2 tablespoons of the McCormick mushroom and gravy powder, which should add some thickening to it. It has freeze-dried mushrooms in it, but that's okay, there's not a lot of them. And so that's all the ingredients, the powdered ingredients, that's going to go with these dehydrated vegetables and liver. And just for now, we're going to put that in here, and then all of that is going to go into a vacuum sealer bag and into my food bag for the weekend, and it's going to be liver, peppers, and onions. Yummy. It's about 108, 109 grams. Total weight, including the packaging. Let's dive into the nutritional information. Okay, we are over here at Cronometer.com, and I'm in the food section of Cronometer, and we're looking at the liver, peppers and onions, mushroom peppers and onions recipe that we just made. And so to start with, let's look at the total caloric content, which is almost 570 calories. We have 36 grams from fat, 26 grams from total carbohydrate. 4 of those are coming from fibers, only 8 really coming from sugar, and then we've got 32 grams from protein. So let's punch up the calculator here and take a look at what the macro breakdown as a percentage of calories is. So if we take the 36.1 grams of fat times 9 calories per gram, that's 325 calories, divided by the 570 is 57%. So a little bit on the low side for keto, but this will still work into your total daily plan as long as you understand what these breakdowns are. This is still going to work for you. So 57% from fat, and then if we take the protein, 32.1 times 4, 128, divided by the 570, that's 23, almost 23% of your calories from protein. So if we add back the 0.5701, almost 80% of your calories are coming from fat and protein in this recipe, and that's going to leave you with roughly 20%, because we're at almost 80 here from fat and protein. So roughly 20% is going to be coming from carbohydrates, and of that we've got 26.4 total carbs minus the 4.2 is 22.2, and then if we take that and multiply by 4, we get 88.8, so 89 calories from net carbs, and divide that by the 570 and we get about 15.6% from net carbohydrates. And so this is a little bit higher on the carb side than most of the things that we make. Let's dive into a couple of electrolytes. So we're at 1.4, almost 1.5 grams of potassium, 1.2 almost grams of sodium, and so those are pretty well balanced. I like that. Let's try and take a look and figure out, if we can, where the carbohydrates are coming from. And I probably have to look at each of the components and try and figure that out. And it must be coming from the vegetables, because it's not coming from the butter. It can't, I guess some of it could be coming from the gravy mix. It's not coming from the mushrooms, not coming from the MCT or the salt substitute. So it's got to be coming from the pepper and onion blend. And you know, it's one of the things you have to be a little bit careful about onions, is they do have some sugars and carbs. But in any case, on the trail in the backcountry where you're exerting a lot of calories, this is still going to play well into your keto recipe. And if you really need to bump up the fat, you know, another scoop of the MCT oil powder or of the butter will really change this up for you. And so now you'd be looking at 44 grams of fat. So 44.1 times 9 divided by now 649, 650. You know, that'd bump you to 61% of your calories from fat. So the nice thing about Cronometer is that you can make these judgments ahead of time when you're working on your recipes and really tweak your macros and your electrolytes to what you want. Having field tested this recipe, I can tell you it's absolutely delicious with 3 scoops of the butter powder, but certainly adding 1 more scoop for 10 grams of weight wouldn't hurt anything. So I'm actually going to leave that there and save these changes, and let's take a look at it getting mixed up in the field and what it looks like in the jar, ready to eat. All right, and so this is the liver and onion backpacker meal that we did. Thanks. And this is just water. It actually has a little bit of salt in it, but other than that, it's just water. And that's it. So it seems a little complicated when you're watching the video or making this at home, but practicing at home where you can try the stuff at home and make sure you like it and tweak the recipe so that it's something that you'll enjoy eating. That's what you want to do, so that when you come out here, it's that simple and you're not messing around with dinner. It's literally put it in the container, add the water, shake it, let it sit. All right, this is the liver and onions, and it's been soaking for a bit now. Looks good. Let's taste the liver's not hydrated. It's okay though, because it's like liver jerky. But it's not fully hydrated, at least that piece wasn't. And that happens a lot when you dehydrate meat instead of freeze dry it, because freeze dried is just a lot better. I mean, it rehydrates very quickly. And so let's check the vegetables are good, and the sauce flavor is on point. It's really good. And this isn't heated. If I heated it, it may hydrate the beef quicker, better, but I'm not going to do that because it's good enough the way it is, except I just spilled, so I made a mess. But anyway, calf beef liver and vegetables. Yummy. Seriously, the beef liver recipe was delish.